Hello everyone, my name is Malika from Jam and Panther team at Prolifix. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate a technique to display message boxes in a Panther Web application. So before I get into the details and explain why do we need a technique to show messages in a web application, let's first have a look into a demo application where I implemented the solution to show messages. So this is a Panther Web application, and this is a sign-in screen of this application. So here for validations, like if I enter nothing in the username and password field, it will show the alert saying please enter username and password with an OK button. And if I type in some invalid data, it will again pop up a message box saying invalid username and password. So these message boxes are coming from my JPL code, which I'm going to explain later. So now let's see one more type of message box. So here I logged into the application and you can see the welcome message box again. So now let's see the yes, no type of message boxes. So if I go into the edit mode and let's update the expiration month, make it 8. And when I click on save, it will again show a yes, no type of message box. And it will ask for my confirmation if I want to save the changes or not. If I say yes, if I click on yes, the updates will be saved into my database. So you can see another pop-up saying your updates are saved. And you can check the month here. If you have a Panther client application, then you might be familiar with the library function called SM message box to display messages anywhere in the client application. But if you are migrating the code to the web or creating a new Panther web application, then you will find that in a web application, if there is a block of code that must request information from the user before continuing, that cannot be executed by the J server as it does in a client application. For example, the JPL code that calls SM message box and the user is asked to confirm whether he wants to save the changes or not, then it will not work as is in a web application. So now the question is, how will you display your messages? So the answer is, we have two techniques to solve this problem. So the first technique is to split the block of code into separate pieces around the call to the SM message box such that each piece can be executed by the J server in separate AJAX requests. And the other technique is using WebSockets. So both the techniques come with their own set of advantages and disadvantages. So it's up to you to decide which technique best suits your requirements. For example, the first technique requires to split up the code. So it might be difficult in a case where JPL procedure has many message boxes to appear, but in this case, the J server is stateless and reusable, and it doesn't wait for a response and can serve the other requests that come in. So this makes it faster. On the other hand, the WebSocket technique requires fewer changes in the original JPL code, but it ties up the J server until it gets the response. Therefore, more J servers may be needed to handle the load for peak usage times. So now here I will explain about the first technique, that is split the code and send the response in AJAX request. So let's see what I mean by splitting up the code. So for example, if I have a function like this, where I invoke the function SM message box and I call the other functions like save changes and smj close based on the response received from the message box. Then this can be split into two sections like this. So in this step, I will make sure that the line which invokes the function SM message box is the last thing to execute in that procedure, and rest of the code that is split off from the original procedure will be executed in the web enter function based on the response like this. So here I'm using a hidden field event to save that response. One more thing is, in this technique, I replace the SM message box function with the SM web message number box if the messages are coming from the message file, or SM web message box if the messages are passed directly to the function. So you can get this sample code from us for these functions. So the message produced by this procedure is returned in HTML, that is sent back to the browser, where it is processed by the simple JavaScript code into a jQuery dialog box. Then an AJAX request is made to send the response that is like yes or no from the dialog box to the JServer. After that, the response is received in a hidden field in the WebEnter function, like we just saw. The event is a hidden field there, which in turn invokes the next JPL procedure that was split off from the original one, like save changes, and the logic that handles the response will be then executed there. So this is how we display the messages in Panther web application, and we provide a sample code to facilitate use of this technique. So you can get this sample from the GitHub link we provide in the description below.
Thanks for watching our video. If you have liked the video, please press the like button. If you are viewing our content for the first time, please press the subscribe button. If you have any queries, either post them in the comment section or email us at support@prolifix.com.